selfish, that I want to be appreciated, that it's just following my conscience when I go out and I express myself creatively and when I do things for you, okay? It's really not that hard to imagine, but we should all take time to cultivate those beautiful, invisible qualities within every human being. Say, God, thank you for those invisible things within my heart and my mind and my soul and my spirit that I wouldn't trade for anything. In fact, I'd give all my possessions, but I'm going to keep that. Even my own body, I would give over if it was necessary, just so that I could keep those invisible qualities that I love so much. My integrity, okay, my conscience, the hope that I'm going to go to a better world where there is peace and harmony, where I really can live together in safety and security with my fellow human beings, where this talk of overpopulation is gone, where nobody is able to be forced to do anything. Okay, that's a world that I will look forward to, and I want all of you to look forward to. And this goes for agnostics too, because, you know, it's like a fail-safe that God built in, that you could turn to and say, you know what, I get that. That makes a lot of sense, because I understand, I value those things within me. You know, it's like, what would I give for my soul? What does it matter? What benefit is it to gain the whole world and forfeit your soul? That's your hope for eternal life. You know, that we all have that within us, that understanding that this thing is more than what it appears, that our true essence, the true substance within us is invisible, and it's nothing anybody can take from us, okay? Only if we give it up. And the way you give it up in this world system is through buying into it, by being invested in it more than you ought to be. We all use money. I'm not being a hypocrite. God knows that you have needs, and He knows that you have a survival instinct, and that you are going to do and should do whatever it takes for you and your family to survive. What did King Solomon say? A man that doesn't take care of his family is worse than an infidel. Okay? So we get it, and we have a powerful instinct to survive. And what's happening in this day and age, and these oppressors know it, this Illuminati class of hypocritical elitist scum, these genocidal maniacs, they know a survivor class is rising up. And you know what? And we're telling them we're not going to take it anymore. And we're going to stop let our brothers and sisters die out in the cold for whatever reason, because they're weaker. This is a social Darwinistic paradigm that they've imposed on us. It really is. It really is. If you don't go along with it, if you don't pay ever-increasing rent, if you don't pay ever-increasing mortgages, costs, and taxation, okay, then you are not fit to survive. You are left to die out in the cold. Or, of course, you could commit a crime, okay, and then wind up in prison and survive behind four walls and the prison fence, okay, at a cost of over $50,000 a year in California per inmate per year. Okay, so these people don't want the problem solved. It's not about cost savings, because it'd be a hell of a lot cheaper to end poverty, because once you ended poverty and everybody was well-to-do, then we would serve each other of our own accord. This is what sound currency would gradually bring us. An ever-increasing standard of living, an ever-falling work week, and it would bring a level playing field. And it would render irrelevant these people's power that they have over us. And this is why they can't let it happen. You'd see crime slowly go away as if we had sound currency. You'd see the wars go away. You'd see the GMOs go away, the chemtrailing, the abortions. You'd see it all go away, folks. All of it. You'd see all those patents released. All the clean energy technology would be out, so the dirty fuels would go away. It would solve all our problems. And these people know the same things I'm telling you. Believe me. They're master manipulators. They're evil geniuses. They're demons from the pit of hell, the way these people think. I'm telling you folks, they work with the mainstream media, they work with the educational system, and they mind F us every which way from Sunday. Okay, that's what's going on here. That's why you can barely think straight. And it's so hard for you to understand the most basic principles of capitalism. They try to make you think it's capitalism and what we need is socialism. Well, these same people that have caused all the problems, that have caused the disparity, these are the ultra elite. These are the ones that walk around with billions and trillions of dollars, that are manipulating our educational system, that are manipulating the mainstream media, that are manipulating the politicians. It's these top money printers, these policy makers. Okay, folks, so you know what? I'm not sure what we can do except to speak out and just kick and scream, sting the ears of everybody around you, make sure nobody can weasel out with any cogent, coherent argument. That you know your facts, and the fact is that it is not capitalism, free market, supply and demand capitalism, that's causing our problems. It's quite the contrary. It's market manipulation, it's price fixing, it's money printing, debt creation that's being imposed on us, that's debasing our currency, creating the burden, creating the misery factor to go through the roof, creating that miasma in our society where people go to work and they don't even feel appreciated. It's like, you could be replaced at the drop of a hat. Just go away. Look, do the earth a favor. That's that miasma. That's the atmosphere we've got here today on planet Earth. It's a miserable, stinking cesspool. It's a rotten, falling tide for humanity that's just stinking with rotten fish. Okay. It stinks to high heaven, and you know what? Relief is coming. So I always want people out there, I want the righteous of heart. Even though I know that, like Jesus said, he said, the righteousness of men is as filthy rags in the sight of the Lord. Nevertheless, what's the alternative, To be unrighteous, to be, no. That you've got to stand for principle. You've got to care about your fellow human being. You've got to say, you know what? I understand that my welfare and his welfare, her welfare, is inextricably interconnected. So in order for me to attain true happiness, to really be free and liberated, then I've got to care about the least of men, like Jesus said. I got to care about the fact that they be liberated, that they be freed. So until that time, we will not attain true happiness. I'm going to sum up this video with what I call a 5-minute tax plan, and actually I've got to do it in less time than that because I think I've only got a couple of minutes left on this tape here. It's blinking. Why doesn't anybody out there suggest that we only make taxation mandatory for the uber wealthy, the trillionaires out there, the Rothschild class, the Rockefeller clan, the Clinton and Bush types, that these are the only people that have to pay taxes, and it won't even hurt them. And then beyond that, we take the mere multi-millionaires worth maybe $500 million, and we say, well, your taxes are voluntary, and you get to earmark where the money goes. And then beyond that, anybody else that wants to pay taxes to support the government can do so of their own free will, but they don't have to. So it removes all the burden on the poor. So I think 99.999% of people would agree that tax plan would work. Okay, because the wealth exists, folks. The wealth is established on Earth through the infrastructure. If you took an inventory of the Earth today, as opposed to 200 years ago, you would see that due to the superhighways and the bridges and the buildings and the factories, the jet airliners, the ships, and all this stuff, include that all in the inventory, you'd realize that the wealth of this planet has increased manifold, exponentially. It has exploded over the last couple of hundred years. So where is it? It's out of circulation. It's being held from the poor. And these people have done it on purpose. Look up the Cloward and Piven Act. You'll see they've intentionally impoverished people. And while they'll retort, well, you finally caught us. You figured out that austerity's plan, that you have artificial scarcity, and they're manipulating your burden, your cost of living, and they're letting all the debt fall on the backs of the poor, and it's causing people to literally perish out in the cold. They'll say, well, it's to save the earth. So then they'll come across like they're these altruistic humanitarians that are really out to just save the planet Earth. They sicken me, folks. And you've got, like myself, you need to see through this ruse. And you've got to stand up to everybody, friends, neighbors, associates, strangers, family, everybody that you can touch in some way. You've got to get the truth across to them. And they're not going to want to hear it. It's going to be like dumping holy water on them, like doing surgery they don't want. But they've got to hear it over and over. This is all we've got, folks, is the truth. Because we're all forced to spend, I mean, everybody does spend Federal Reserve notes. And America is setting the trend for the rest of the world. It's the world reserve currency. America's the most powerful country in the world. So the beast system is firmly established here. And we've all been forced into this prison planet where they're holding us hostage. And we've got to get away from it, folks. And listen, I wish the very best for everybody out there. That's why I make these videos, because I really do want things to be good for you. I want the best for you because that's what I want for me. That's what I want for my children and my grandchildren, you know. And, you know, so anyhow, best everybody. God bless you, and have a great day.